Welcome back, guys. My name is DC, your host of Barside Jive, and today is Thursday, November 28th, 2019. It's awesome that you guys chose to hang out here with us this evening for my Thursday night show at the very cool Vocal Media Studios in North Dallas, Texas. This show happens at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time every freaking Thursday, and this show features some of the very best original singer-songwriters in the U.S. of A. By the way, you can now download my shows on iTunes, Stitcher, and TuneIn. If you are listening to this episode as a podcast, you can watch it right now by going to vocalnow.com, and vocal is spelled with a K. Check the Barside Jive image at the top of the app or at the top of your browser, or at any time you can watch it on demand on YouTube, youtube.com/Barside Jive Live. Barside Jive is sponsored by
The Zoo
on Vocal,
the world's best rock, and can be streamed 24/7, 365, vocalnow.com. Zoo freaks get classic rock, deep cuts, B-sides, last track, stuff you never are going to hear on the FM stations. And one big thing here is you can avoid all those back-to-back boring commercials. Be sure to check out my merch. I've got tees and hoodies available at bradjensenart.com, and that is Brad, Jensen art.com. Click on DC's Gear. Tonight I have Holy Roller Baby in the studio, but first... Guys, Heart's plan for 2020, Ann and Nancy are back. Heart returned to the road this past summer after a 3-year absence from touring. Their first headlining shows since 2016 topped a bill that also included Joan Jett, Sheryl Crow, Brandi Carlile, and Ellie King. The tour found Ann and Nancy Wilson blitzing across North America, and now, as Nancy is saying, that they're hoping to keep things moving forward in 2020 with brand new music. The tour was really exciting after 3 years of not being out there, she says. On break until the spring, she plans to make good use of the downtime. I've got a lot of song ideas in my head and in my notes and on my phone, and I've been singing into my phone, she explains. So I think that new Heart material would be really great, because the last album we did was Beautiful Broken, where we kind of redid some of our favorite songs from the Heart catalog. Roadcase Royale, the band Nancy formed during Heart's hiatus, will be put on hold for the new year as Heart planned shows at some of the places they didn't get to this year. With the Heart thing, the whale swallowed the sailor there, she admits. I think the next smart move would be to get some new Heart stuff going and then take it on the road one more time. But not the same Shed tour. Canada wants us up there, and probably some European dates and some other festivals and stuff like that. Things that don't imitate what we just did. Wilson has also been busy with other projects. She was recently at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland to celebrate the launch of the museum's Play It Loud exhibit, which features her classic 1978 Ovation acoustic guitar. They knew that I'd seen one, and it was a one-off, I think, that they'd made for Jim Messina of Loggins and Messina, explains Wilson, who was inducted into the Rock Hall in 2013 with Heart. My heart flew out of my body when I saw that guitar. I knew that I needed one of those guitars, so they made me one too. She played the instrument extensively in the 70s, and it showed up on stage in the next decade too. Stylistically, things changed up in the 80s, Wilson notes. So I played a lot more of the 80s style whammy bar things for a while. The Ovation carbon top went into storage for maybe 20 years or so. When they called me about the guitar to maybe put it in the initial exhibit at the Met, I pulled it back out of storage and I opened it up, and it was perfectly in tune and played beautifully. Wilson says the strings didn't even feel rusty. It had just been waiting there for me to rediscover it and fall in love one more time. Now, it's the only guitar that went on tour without me. So when I got to see it again, it was like, hi, I can't wait until you can come home with me once again. That's a real special guitar. If you like rock music history, then check out my daily dose of rock music simply by checking out my Facebook page at facebook.com/Barside Jive Live every day, because I'll be back with more history on the classic rock legends. If you'd like to check out my Daily Dose archives, just go to my YouTube channel. You can find it at youtube.com/Barside Jive Live. Look in the Daily Dose playlist for more rock music history from me. All right, Holy Roller Babies are in the house. Rock rolls with primitive swagger and the music of Holler. God, you caught me. Damn it. Holy Roller Baby.
Doing good.
With music as spirited as their name suggests, the band blends the best of 70s stringing, blending guitar rock with an undeniably forward-thinking perspective. Raucous and gritty with a focus on songwriting, melody, and substantive lyrics, the band plays glorious rock at concussive volumes while swinging to a unmistakable beat, filtering a thunderous bluster through a soul crooner's sensibility. Wow.
That was really nice
That
of you
was
to
really
say.
nice. Yeah, thanks. Took me a while to write
Thanks for
it.
saying that.
Took me a little longer to pronounce all that shit. Okay, guys, founded in 2017, Austin, Texas, the band's lineup previously played over 300 shows in the U.S. and Canada under a different band name. Spearheaded by the songwriting of Jared Mullins and using 2 lead guitarists, the 4-piece was invited to record their debut album at Radiohead's Courtyard Studios in Oxfordshire, England. Very cool. Together with producer Ian Davenport, Band of Skulls, Supergrass, Philip Selway of Radiohead, the band recorded a blistering 50-minute 12-track album that combs through a diverse array of blues-tinged rock, even borrowing amps and percussion from Radiohead and guitars from Gaz Coombs, ex-Supergrass, to do so. So let's welcome Holy Roller Babies to the show. Thanks, guys, for coming in, man.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's awesome.
doing?
Yeah. So I did okay part of it, right? I mean, I
Holder
only do the Holler thing one time.
Holder.
Holler.
I
Holler.
think it sounded good.
Holler Roller Babies.
Yeah.
Helpful.
Holy Roller Baby.
Holy Roller Baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a cool name.
Thanks.
So how'd you come up with it?
Nick and I were joking around, but I literally thought about it for a really long time.
Really?
We so when I started, I had first met Patrick,
Okay.
and we were doing a band called Heavy Glow, and then we kind of got lumped into a stoner rock genre that I had no familiarity with at all. So I kind of went through a little existential thing where I was like, I don't want to be this. I don't want to be expected to be heavy and all that kind of stuff. So decided after literally, I'd sent Nick like a 9-page thesis on why I wanted to be called Holy Roller Baby. But mostly it just boils down to, I wanted to be a rock band that could also roll. And we had some songs that required tambourine. So using the metaphor of a holy roller from the early 1920s and 30s Pentecostal movement,
Right.
I could use that and also highlight the more soulful aspects of our music. And then I just put baby at the end because holy roller's in a lot of different things, but baby's there to kind of really emphasize the Motown soulful aspect of the band's music. So that's pretty much it.
So Holy Roller
After
Baby.
9 pages, that's how
pages
I've.
in 30 seconds.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
all I got was this is the band name, Patrick. Get over it, all right, dude. That's all I got. Like, oh yeah, well this other person did this. Okay, cool.
Well,
He's still trying to get over it.
is he?
Still
Yeah.
trying. Oh man, my butt hurts.
So now those 9 pages, was that like text pages or was that like notebook
No, it was typed
paper,
out on a
freaking-
laptop. Yeah.
No
I want to
way.
see this
Oh,
document.
No, I had quotations and everything. in
Where
it.
is this
No.
document you speak of?
I sent it to Nick. He's got it somewhere.
No,
Nick,
I-
send me this
I wish
document.
I still had it. but
I need to
no.
read it. I'm a
Yeah.
couple years late.
Yeah. One of these days, that could be like in the Hard Rock Cafe.
It's real persuasive.
Yeah. I came
well
up.
thought out.
It was very bullet pointed and
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Dang.
but that's pretty much it. There's a lot of rock bands that are very good at rocking and being loud,
Right.
and we wanted to be the band that could rock and also have a soulful groove in a primitive swagger kind of way. So
Right.
I needed something that would kind of suggest that and also stand out, because there's a lot of bands that just put two words together and then that sounds cool. And it's cool to sound cool, but I wanted something that kind of spoke to the music a little bit. So
Right. So, do you have a Pentecostal background?
no,
No.
I have a history background.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but,
Okay. Cool.
yeah.
Yeah. We threw out Pentecostal, so I was wondering
Oh well,
maybe you picked that up from church or something.
no. Just a big history buff. Went to college and post grad for it. So
Did you really?
yeah. So.
Wow. Yeah.
I needed something that was very American. There's a lot of bands coming out now that Alabama Shakes, and there's a band called the Holy Spirits. Things
I
like
haven't
that.
heard them yet.
Yeah, I think I just learned about them today.
Hmm.
But there's a lot of bands that suggest movement in the band name,
Right.
and that's something that I wanted. So
Right. Right. So let's do this. Let's go around the room and let's start with Patrick and
Hey.
just give us Patrick. We'll finally get you on camera there.
Ooh.
You haven't had any like
God.
you haven't had any like FaceTime at all because
Your
I don't know. Maybe just Jay doesn't like you. There you go.
Jared.
your mascara looks good right now.
Thank you. I put it all right here.
Especially for you. Yeah. So give us a thumbnail sketch, because I'm always curious now how people get their start in the music business. Were you in like junior high band, or your dad gave you your first guitar because he thought you ought to do something besides just sit in your room listening to records, or however.
Well, I'd always been like really obsessed with music my whole life, and I just never really played any instruments. I kind of dabbled very little. And then when I was 17, a friend of mine taught me how to play some song on the guitar. It was the Sweater Song by Weezer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so I couldn't do it. It was awful. I tried to play. I was like, oh, wow, this is a joke. And then another friend of mine down the street from me named Jessie Johnson, she had a drum set and a guitar, and she played everything. And she asked me if I wanted to come jam on the drums with her. So I started going over to her house playing drums every day. And every time we'd finish, I'd pick up her guitar and try to play, and it was garbage. And after like 6 months, it just clicked, and all of a sudden I could play it. But that's like, I played like a minute every day, and that was it,
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I got obsessed, and I bought a guitar, and I just stopped talking to everybody and just sat around and played guitar all day.
Now, how old were you then?
I 17, 18,
Okay.
and so
You kind of started late.
yeah, I did.
Yeah.
But I put in 5 to 20 hours a day playing for like 3 or 4 years, where like people were like, I don't even know what your voice sounds like because all you do is play guitar when you come over.
Right.
And I think I was about 19 or 20, and I realized that I wanted to pursue music for my life, and so I quit going to school, and I just started really focusing and putting bands together. And then about 9 or 10 years ago, I put a band together, and I'd just been through all these bass players, and I couldn't find one that I liked. And so I just was like, hey, check it out. I wrote some bass lines, and the other guys were like, wow, you're a natural. You should play bass. Okay, and so the drummer had a bass rig that his buddy left when he moved to East Texas, and started using that. And then I bought my own gear, and then that band fell apart. I was like, wow, I put all my effort into this one thing, and look where it got me. So I just started playing with everybody that I could to just sort of figure it out better,
Playing bass.
Playing bass, yeah.
Right.
And that's it. I just started doing it nonstop at that point, about 2010.
Wow.
And then by 2012, I was doing it full time for a living, and that's all I've done is I play and I teach lessons and I do studio work.
Right. Right. That's awesome, Patrick. What about you, Nick?
It's kind of the same. I started when I was 17. Just picked it up and played for a solid year in the bedroom, just
Wow.
doing nothing but playing guitar. And then decided to go out and start going to jams and stuff after I had figured out how to play like Stevie Ray Vaughan a little bit.
Right.
And so I did that for a few years, and then finally, I'm 24 now, so probably the last 3 or so years I've been doing it full time, just playing music around. Met Patrick, and Patrick has introduced me to everybody that I know So he introduced me to Jared, so I joined this band.
Very cool.
But, you know, it's just been guitar all the way.
So where'd you get your first
there.
guitar?
Well, the one that I learned on, it was my dad's. It was an old 80s piece of shit, like Yamaha acoustic. You know, that was strings were way too high and it was impossible to play. But I played on that guitar for a solid year,
Wow.
you know, before I ever, you know, touched an electric really.
Right.
And that helped a lot and it hurt a lot.
Yeah,
But
I
it
guess
helped a
so.
lot.
Yeah, yeah.
You
It's a
know.
tough way to learn, but you
Yeah.
learned. Yeah.
Yeah,
Still have
man.
the calluses.
They're still there. Yeah.
You still have the guitar.
Everything's still there. I'm sure he's got it somewhere. I
Yeah.
don't think he trashed it or anything, but
Yeah.
it's pretty hard to play still.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So Stevie Ray Vaughan was a big influence.
Yeah, he was
then?
the first guy that I played or that I heard that I was like, I want to play like that. You know,
Right,
I want to do that.
right. Who was your first, Patrick? Who really influenced you?
I don't know. It was kind of all over the place. I was learning stuff by Muse and by the Misfits and Green Day and like Sublime, just all kinds of random stuff. A lot of like Jack Johnson, his interviews, the way that he talked about the way that he came about, you know, it's like he wanted to do surfing and then he switched over to film and then he just sort of accidentally stumbled upon music in the midst of it. That kind of influenced me a bit when I was younger about finding a career, you know, before I even knew I wanted to do music. And so while I was like taking these random courses in college to look for a new career, the whole time I'd been playing guitar and I was like, oh, that's what I need to do.
Right, right, right. What about you, Nick?
As far as what?
I'm sorry. What about you, Jared?
Nick can speak for me
I was
if you
just,
want.
I'll go
Early
again.
influences.
I can say everything again. That's okay.
I mean, for me, everything's
Holler.
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 It is just the
Roller roly baby.
interview over. That's it.
Roller roller baber.
We're done already. So just sit and talk.
You know, everything changed for me, I think, when I was 15 and I heard Come Together by the Beatles. And I know that's, you know, there could be more clever bands I could bring up, but when I heard that drum fill on Come Together,
Right.
it was the coolest thing I'd ever heard.
Wow.
So, I don't know, it was just like the light went on. I don't know when really I had that, you know, cathartic moment of this is what I'm going to do, but I don't know, you just always feel more alive playing music and doing that, so. But that was the moment for me. That Abbey Road album was great, so.
Right. Did you already have a guitar at that point?
No, I didn't have anything. I didn't have a musical family. I didn't know anybody
Really?
that played music. I think my dad had a accordion. I mean, that's not cool.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
That's not.
and he never played it. So I don't know what's worse, to have one and not play it, or
Right.
to actually play it. But,
Right.
but that's, and I would make friends with kids in middle school or high school that had instruments just so that I could sit down and play their drums for 10 minutes or their guitar or whatever. So I was, yeah, total selfishness.
So how old were you when you got your first guitar?
I'm probably about the same age they were, maybe 16,
Okay.
when I could start driving and, you know, go find one.
Right. Right.
So
Wow. So what do you think is the biggest obstacle to having a band and doing music?
I think, you know, we live in the age where you give music away for free. And
Right.
we count how many times somebody played it for free.
Right.
And it costs a lot of money to make something to give it away for free.
Right.
So I think just, you know, it's, I don't want to say money, but, you know, it's
But
just
money.
It's money.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Schedules.
it's a good and bad
Money
thing,
and schedules. Those are
Yeah.
the two things.
because you got to have schedules to make money.
Yeah.
So,
And you got to have money to make money too.
yeah.
So-
Now, I think Patrick, you said you're full time, and Nick, you're doing this full time, right? Same with you, Jared.
Well, I'm full-time Holy Roller Baby.
Okay.
So, and these guys play with some other songs, or some
Okay.
other bands as well.
Okay.
So
So this is your day job.
this is me. This is it.
Yeah.
So
Very
yeah.
cool. Very cool. Well, it's refreshing to get some rock and roll in the studio. It's been a while.
What do you guys normally have?
We're not limited to any genre. So we've had a
Okay.
lot. Not that I'm opposed to it at all, but we've had a lot of country, folk, R&B, but just straight rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't had a whole lot here lately. It's kind of how we started out, but it hadn't been that way for some time. So, yeah, it's nice. So why don't we give the audience a little taste of what you guys do
Sure.
Yeah.
Do you
in
want
the
to, you want us to
Holy
play
Roller Babies?
acoustics, or do you want to play the?
It's up to you. I can play. I've got an MP3 here, or you can do some live stuff.
Can we do? Maybe we can listen to Ravings at Your Window if that's all
Yeah,
right. And
yeah.
then later on we can give another little
We'll wind down with the acoustics.
wind down with acoustic.
Okay, cool.
If that's all right.
So let's talk a little bit about this song.
Sure.
So who wrote it?
I wrote it.
Okay, cool. And that was quick.
It's,
And
the way things normally work, at least in this band so far, is that I painstakingly obsess myself with a song, and I'll come up with different parts, 3 or 4 parts sometimes, all on just my computer, and then I'll pass it off to the band, and then they play the parts better than I had thought. I mean, might be an idea for a bass line but the idea is, I have a better bass player, so here's a small idea. Hey, here's so that's generally how it's worked so far.
Yeah. Oftentimes we get together and the song's anywhere from 60 to 90% there, and we'll just kind of arrange it a little bit together, But he usually has it mostly done when he brings it to the table, and then we just add our own little touches to it from there.
Mm-hmm.
very cool, very cool. So what's this song about?
This, I think when I wrote this song, Tom Petty had just died, or at least the lyrics for it. So this is like my closest try at a Tom Petty song. Being stuck in the Midwest and being in love with a girl and being like, hey girl, you're gonna come down from the window. I'm down here. I'm looking up. Come on down. Let's go. Let's get out of town. And that's pretty much it. It's just the feeling of being inhibited and wanting to find freedom anywhere that you can. So I grew up in the Midwest, so it's more the metaphors in the song are, I didn't just make it up. Those are things that I felt and saw when I was growing up. So
Right. Okay, guys. This is the Holy Roller Babies right here on Barside Jive Live.
Switch it up. Won't you get your boots on, meet me at the county line. Baby, won't you take me anywhere but here is fine. I gotta roll, long time running. I gotta roll. I bet today's the day. Yeah, you gotta climb down like I want you to. Yeah, I bet today's the day. Yeah, you gotta climb down like I want you to. Yeah. Give me milk and honey, give me half your cigarette. Give me in the backseat, camera shine silhouette. I gotta roll, long time running. I gotta roll. I bet today is the day. Yeah, you gonna climb
Guys, that is the Holy Roller Babies right here on Barside Jive Live. And they've got a album coming out, right?
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Holy Roller Baby. So we did this album. We had some demos, and we got invited to record in England. And we did it. Radiohead had a little makeshift house / recording studio. So we lived over in England for about 2 weeks and recorded the album. And did almost about 50 minutes of music in 13 days of recording, I think. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Nick loved it, right, Nick?
Oh, it was great. I'd go back in a second. In a
I would.
second.
It was awesome.
Why did Nick like it so much?
Why, Nick?
It wasn't Dallas.
Oh,
It wasn't
anywhere but
Texas.
Dallas. Yeah.
It wasn't Amarillo.
It was
So
a
had you
gorgeous.
not
something.
traveled much until then?
No, not really.
That was a cool
You know,
trip,
I've been
right?
around or whatever, but yeah, going to England, that's a trip.
It was
Yeah.
a very gorgeous village. I mean, George
Yeah.
Orwell was actually buried in that little village there. We could
Wow.
walk to his grave, and it was at the time they were putting a lot of his novels there, 1984, and there was just tons of them there. But
Wow.
it was pretty stellar.
How many days did you guys spend there?
We
2 weeks,
Yeah.
2 weeks.
basically
Yeah.
14 days.
Yeah. Now, were you working every day? Did you get some time to check
Honestly,
out
I think they were the basic tracks, and most everybody in the band was done except me after about 3 or 4 days.
Wow.
Well, yeah.
Something like that. It was.
Yeah, it was like we cut all the songs in like 3 days, I think, and then after that, it was like he was doing extra guitar parts and vocals,
overdubs.
and then
Right.
Mario did all the percussion stuff at some point, and then like our last day that we had Mario there, we cut one more song that him and Mario had never even played before, and we just worked it up real quick and cut it, and it turned out great. And yeah.
You know, I got to spend some time over there, and actually, let's see, it was 20. I worked over there for a couple of years. No, it was 2007, 2008. Yeah, and I got to travel over in England. I took several trips over there. Did the Liverpool thing, and then hung out in London for a week or so.
Did you go to Abbey Road?
No,
Oh, okay.
no. I know. I kicked myself in the ass because I thought I would go back again.
Yeah.
But you know, when you're working over there, and you know, I was making pretty good money. I did a lot of traveling while I'm there because everything is like an hour away.
Yep.
I actually lived in the Middle East, but you know, to get to Heathrow Airport, I mean, it's an hour flight. Everything's an hour flight. Cairo, Frankfurt, you name it. So, you know, I wound up going to all these different places because every time I'd go somewhere, they said, "Oh, you got to go there." So I'd go there, and the next thing you know, I never freaking Abbey Road. I totally.
Yeah.
And I thought I'd always go back, but it didn't happen that way. But I wanted to know what you guys. I know it's an awful experience being there because I've been there. So, what was your favorite thing about that trip?
Well, we went.
Back
It was
England.
the end of January or something.
Right.
And
It was cold as shit.
Yeah.
And we didn't have a car. We didn't have whatever. You know, we went over there, spent all our money getting over there.
Right.
So we would just walk around, you know, at night, go to the market that was, you know, in the little village, or just go walk for miles outside of the village or whatever, and just
We did that
See,
one night.
There was a pub too.
You know,
I remember we
yeah,
did that
there
one
were
night,
people there.
and it was like the most gorgeous stars you'd seen in the
Oh,
countryside.
That was
It
my favorite thing, even though it was 20 degrees. You know,
Yeah.
freezing our nuts off. Like,
Yeah.
it was a great
Yeah.
experience just being out there.
Yeah.
You know?
Was it kind of rainy?
Yeah.
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 Man, my favorite thing was the beer. Like, you can.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I love that beer on cask, and you can get like a light, like a blonde, like ale, and if it's got the little sparkler thing on the nozzle, then it has this like Guinness-like head. Ooh,
Right.
Gosh, it ruined beer for me here. It's like, it's so good.
And their beer there is a little bit higher percentage of alcohol than here.
And there's
I learned.
They definitely give you more.
no
That's true.
no
Yeah.
carbonation or far less carbonation, so it also goes down like water.
Yeah.
Like you can just put them
But
back.
they drink like gentlemen there. I mean, it's
Yes.
like it's nothing. It's
Not us though.
The pubs are very quiet. You know, they don't have to have loud music when you're
Right.
drinking. It's
Right. Yeah, it's totally different, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked to people that had been out with their hunting dog that day, and they're still in
Yeah.
their hunting boots, and like, oh, it was just amazing.
Hey,
Yeah.
I loved
so
it.
you guys were, how far away were you from, say, London?
I think we were
Like
what
a-
45 minutes west.
I thought it was
Oh.
like an hour and a half northwest, but I mean by train it was like an hour and a half, wasn't it?
I don't know, an hour-ish maybe.
Yeah, it's not that
Yeah.
far. Yeah.
It's
yeah.
yeah.
Well, you flew into London, right, to Heathrow.
I forget which
flew
one we
into
flew
Gatwick.
into.
We
I'm
flew into
pretty sure.
Gatwick.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's a neat place, man. And that Beatle thing, that Liverpool.
I did make sure that I went
Rich.
to Abbey Road, so
Oh,
I wasn't.
did you?
I wasn't sure. Yeah, because I didn't want to
Okay.
have that experience where I was
Yeah.
like, if I don't go, I'm
Yeah.
gonna regret it the rest of my
I
life.
know.
Because I've been playing with that pose my whole life. Every
Yeah.
time I cross the street,
Yeah.
my whole life
Yeah.
I've been like, I'm gonna do it barefoot now.
Yeah.
You know,
Who took your picture?
some random person
Random
on the
dude.
street. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were all cool there. They were all
Yeah.
Beatles fans, so they're not gonna run off with my.
Dude, you need to
phone.
totally send me that picture, and
I'll send it to you.
You sent it to me. I'll edit it in this
It's
fucking
in
video.
my kitchen. There's a big picture
No,
of just
when I-
me in my kitchen.
Really?
Yeah.
No, if you'll send me that picture of you on Abbey Road, I will definitely edit it into this when I post it on YouTube.
Yeah,
I'll edit it
absolutely.
because I think that'd be cool.
yeah.
Yeah, that place is rich with history, though. I mean, from the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, I mean, you name it.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, God. So thank God for the British invasion, right?
The
Yeah.
Kinks.
Zeppelin.
Of course, they all just copied, blues from here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, I mean,
Yeah.
I guess all of us had early experiences with some of that music, except for Nick, Stevie Ray Vaughan. He not from.
Wow.
I think that would change you though if your first experience was an American guitarist versus. That would definitely, I think, change your outlook on rock and roll. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
Oh.
Yeah,
I've
it
been
is.
a Zepp head since before
Yeah.
that though.
Yeah.
I had always just listened to music, but I'd never bothered to play
Yeah.
until I was that old. But I was all into Zeppelin when I was
Were you
11, 12.
favorite band
Whatever.
ever, man?
Yeah. Oh,
Favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Even my intro to this segment is
Yeah, I know. Where did you
Zeppelin
find that?
sound
What is
checking.
that?
They're just sound
the
checking.
Rover,
man.
right?
Yeah, yeah, they're just sound checking. You guys did and I wanted to go, and I told you I was going to go, and I couldn't. I was so pissed. You guys did a Zeppelin night.
Yeah.
Where was that?
It was at the Foundry. And
Yeah.
So the singer
yeah.
Therese Marie, who's actually in our music video,
Yeah.
she acted in our video. She had contacted me and Nick about if our other band wanted to play some Zeppelin that night for her Zeppelin tribute night in dedication to Robert Plant's birthday. And we ended up backing her up with some other musicians added on, a drummer named Griffin Tucker. And after we played that show, we were all floored by how much fun it was, and we decided to keep that thing going, and we actually made that into a band. We're playing a show in January. We haven't announced yet, but yeah,
Oh, cool. Well, you have to
Yeah.
remind me because
Yeah.
I got to go.
definitely.
Yeah. So tell me, Jared, what do you think is the best song that you've ever written?
I don't know. I maybe ask these guys. I'm really self-deprecating. I don't know.
He hates them all.
I got.
Well, there's got to be one that.
That one song that you wrote about Nick's cat, you know?
No, I don't like cats.
It's like meow
Don't be
meow.
You wrote a
silly.
song
meow,
about my
meow,
cat?
Silly.
Meow 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 meow. Yeah, that's the
No.
lyrics.
I thought for sure that he had
Yeah.
written a song about my cat.
Yeah, it's
That was going to be really
He was
surprising.
hoping.
No.
He was
it's like
hoping.
it's like an Indian sounding thing, right?
I
It's
don't-
like meow meow.
Yeah, that would not. That doesn't even sound good to me right now.
That's
So.
because you said you wanted to trash it. I said, Jared, that's a brilliant song.
I really don't know. Nick and I went out, and I said, Nick and I were drinking one day, and I said, Nick, I just want to write one good song. Nick's like, what are you talking about? You've written a lot of great songs. And then that was kind of the end of the conversation. So I don't know. Maybe they're the better judge because I just feel like I'm always trying to get it. I want to write that good song. So
Yeah.
I guess
So
I have no idea.
Well, let's defer to these guys. What song do you guys think is his best?
And I don't need compliments, but
That
I'm just
song
saying.
that, well, you're singing on the song that you played, Ravings.
Uh-huh.
Your singing it wasn't all that, but that's still one of my favorites.
I feel like this is a roast now.
Yeah, what is that? It wasn't all that.
It wasn't all
Dang.
that, but it was one of my favorites. That was my pick for the single. I kept hounding Jared to make that one the single.
Oh, really?
Off the
Yeah,
record.
it's a great
yeah.
song.
And
I was
luckily
like,
for you,
why?
that 6-minute song is making a perfect single right now. Lots of airplay.
I wasn't gonna write him a thesis paper on why it should be the single or anything. Yeah, there's some Heavy Glow songs that I really love too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Headhunter or
Yes.
what's that real slow one?
Got My Eye on You?
No, that one too. There's like a real sludgy one. I'll think of it later, like as we're ending. I'll think of it.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh yeah,
We'll figure it out.
it's a cat song.
Yeah.
exactly. Ha ha
I
ha.
don't know. What's your favorite song, Pat? I mean,
I'm torn. It was like when we first cut the record, leading up to recording. There's a song we have called Leper Blues that was my favorite. It's really this heavy riff and drop D, and it's just massive. I just love it. But then like Run Through the Valley it's got like all of it. It's like heavy at first, and then it's kind of like chill, spacey, almost a little poppy, you know. And so that one really has a great dynamic. There's so much there for anybody that likes music in general. Like there's so many different styles we kind of cross in the song Run Through the Valley. But then Eve, heavy shuffle that drops C sharp on the bass. It's very like, to me, it's kind of almost Queens of the Stone Age-esque. And the melodies in that are so catchy. A lot of people that I've showed the record to have said that one sounded the catchiest to them. And then I guess Guillotine is one that always drives me crazy. I love the way those verses end up coming together where I drop out. And then the
Slave Dance.
Slave
Slave Dance is the song. Oh,
That's what it was.
We got it.
that's it. You know it.
That's
But
a
yeah,
great
so
Well, you
I'm,
can do a covers album.
I'm really
of-
torn. But I guess, Leopard Blues is the one that really stuck with me forever. But I don't know, now it's really hard to pick between those four. Did I say 4 songs? I said 4 songs. Right?
How many tracks on this album?
12?
12.
12?
There's one song that runs into another song as kind of a medley, but they're really 2 songs. So, but there's 12 total.
Okay.
So, and I think that's a good point, though. It's within the rock genre. We're picking up on a lot of subgenres. So it's not as if one song is the same as any others. I don't know that you could say that any 2 songs on the album are really the same.
Yeah.
There's a lot of riff heaviness.
Yeah.
But
They're all relative because it's us. And
I mean, there's
it
an
all rocks.
instrumental song. There's
Yeah.
That's kind of what I liked about Zeppelin.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, they did the same thing.
They took from everywhere. There's a really cool quote that John Paul Jones said about how that was what made them different from everybody else at the time, was
Right.
that they didn't limit themselves. It was like if they wanted to, they'd write something blues, and then they'd write something from Arabic music and country and folk, and wherever they wanted to take from, they would take from
Right.
there. But it was always them, and it was always relative to them. I thought that was really cool because I hear a lot of bands. I've joined bands years ago where they were very specific. They specifically wanted to sound like this band right here.
right.
And I was like, well, why don't we just get together and see what kind of chemistry and what happens and what And they were like, no. And I was like, okay, if that's what you're about. I don't know. I feel like
was
this
that really
kind
the
of
conversation? Is that how it went?
yeah. But I mean,
No.
for the most part,
they were wrong.
it was like 5 or 6 years ago, so I can't really say
I got
exactly. But I don't know.
That is the quote.
I think the organic thing, of just going with what you feel and, don't stray too far off, but, feel it, and other people will too.
That's what I think the huge difference for me as a listener between the 70s rock and 80s rock is, 80s rock. I mean, so many of those bands, everything they did sounded pretty much the same,
Yeah.
But-
Like a manufactured. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. But the 70s,
Yeah.
those guys were so freaking talented and so creative.
Mm-hmm.
From the Grateful Dead to Zeppelin to, well, you name them.
Deep Purple.
Deep Purple,
Yeah.
God, yeah. I mean, so yeah, I'm really excited. I know you haven't let me hear any more tracks on the album, but I'm really excited to get to do that. And hopefully, do you even have a release date yet?
We don't have anything down yet.
Okay.
Very
have you-
tentative.
Very tentative. So we're talking like 6 months?
Probably April.
April? It's my birthday month, man.
When's your
That'd be a
birthday?
nice birthday present. 11.
It comes out the 11th.
That's
All
it.
right.
That's it.
Right. You guys heard that right here on Barside Dive Live. Holy Roller Baby album released April 11th. There you go. I'll have to host the party.
There it is.
Yeah. So what's the name of the album?
Frenzy.
Frenzy.
Yeah.
All right.
I want something that's kind of picking up on more of that movement,
Yeah.
like a Holy Roller would have,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I went to a Pentecostal church one time.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Pentecostal.
Yeah.
And this lady, she was wasn't young at all, and she did like this cartwheel down the aisle. Right
It's
beside
amazing,
me.
right? Yeah.
Right, and she was probably in her 80s, I'm guessing. I
Yeah.
mean, she looked at, and I was like,
The
man,
things that get you to move, It's-
yeah,
I went to
It
one once,
did.
and a woman had a tambourine in one hand and a Bible in the other hand.
Yeah.
And I just thought that's the best thing ever. Like Al Green, we listen to Al Green all the time. Super soulful.
right,
If Al Green lived in Dallas, I would go to his church every Sunday.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just that kind of,
yeah,
charismatic,
Oh, yeah.
pun intended.
Right.
That charismatic kind of soulful thing is great to me. So,
yeah. Well, it works, and Frenzy's cool, man.
yeah.
It's cool. Yeah, yeah. I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. Hey, you guys mind playing a little bit? I mean,
Yeah.
Well, this is a song, if you like.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but
No, it just so happens I have a guitar.
oh, okay. Well, hey, if you brought your guitar, well then shoot,
I'm just
that
gonna
works.
use this one
man.
laying over here.
Okay,
Oh, it's in tune.
Look at that.
Nick. Boy, you're so lucky that was there.
Pat,
you know.
where'd you find that?
Oh
Interesting.
boy,
Okay.
what is
Damn,
this
guys.
thing?
Always be prepared.
Well,
What do you guys want to do?
this is a song called Drag the Lake.
Drag the lake.
Very dark lyrics. And Nick, do you want to play the guitar solo? Can you get up there?
I can figure something out.
Okay. We've never done this on acoustic before together, so
Really?
this will
That's
actually
cool.
be fun.
I love first.
Cool. You want me to count it in? Pat, you want to count it in?
I don't care.
1, 2, 3, 4. Two lost souls sitting in a barrel. Two lost souls sitting in a barrel now. I can't walk upon the water with a hand to hold me to the shore. And I can ride the wind around me, feel the mist as raging tempest roar. You gonna let me sink down, let me sink down all, let me sink down, let me sink down all the way. Oh my soul, maybe I should mumble. Oh my soul, maybe I should mumble now. I can't fight off all of heaven, fight off all of heaven on my own. When I can ride the wind around me, fight off all of hell all on my own. You gonna let me sink down, let me sink down all, let me sink down, let me sink down all the way. Someday maybe you will hear my name. Echoing in glory just the same. Someday maybe you will hear my name. Echoing in glory just the same. You gonna let me sink down, let me sink down all, let me sink down, let me sink down all the way. You gonna let me sink down, let me sink down all, let me sink down, let me sink down all the way.
Wow. Great job, guys.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
I think Pat just broke his guitar.
Slam. Yeah, take that, you bass.
like a mic drop.
Right. Bass drop.
Yeah, that was great, guys.
Thank you.
Great. So, who would be your choice there, Jared, if you had the choice of anyone to collaborate with? One person.
That's jeez. I really am in love with this band D Mob Happy that we just played with a little while ago, and we just listened to their music really, and I really feel like if you die and go to hell, and there's just a big cauldron and a big party, they're probably going to listen to D Mob Happy because it's so cool and dark and evil and just. So I would love to get Matt together somehow and and collaborate. He was so nice too to talk to us about music theory and things like that. We had a good conversation about it. With Patrick had one with him. So
Oh, that's cool.
I would love to work with them.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. So
Yeah.
that's just me. I don't know.
What about you, Nick?
Group or person or whoever.
Just a person, just an
Man.
individual,
If I could collaborate with anybody, it would be
live or dead.
probably. Oh, don't do that
Oh,
to me,
well,
man.
Oh, no, don't do that.
That's
That's
totally
way too
different.
far.
I'm gonna stick with Alive just so we can keep this real here. I might say either Taylor Hawkins or Dave Grohl.
Oh,
the
wow.
Foo Fighters. I'm really into the
Thanks.
Foo Fighters
Yeah.
right now,
Oh yeah,
and I would either one of those dudes. I'd be happy. I'd die right then.
right.
You know.
They'd both be good hangs, I think.
Dave
yeah.
Grohl. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Well,
yeah,
damn.
he's awesome.
Sorry, Pat.
Yeah, just stole it right from me. I was gonna
did
say Dave Grohl. I mean, if you want to list people, I would say Dave Grohl or John Paul Jones or Josh Homme from Queens of the Stone Age. So then I could just say them Crooked Vultures. Hey, John Paul Jones should just move over to like keys and mandolin and stuff and let me play bass for them Crooked Vultures. That would be awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. Okay, I got one more for you. So, how would the kids in your 7th grade class, there, Patrick, describe you?
Well, I was like 5 foot tall until I was like 16 or 17.
And you grew 3 feet?
Yeah,
For real.
like my voice changed, everything else happened, but I just stayed short
Yeah.
until I was like 16 or 17. I was, oh hey, now you're 6 foot. You know? I was like, oh okay. So yeah, I was short. I don't know, halfway between loud and energetic and like quiet and I don't know. It depended on the day really. I was kind of unpredictable, pretty ADD and all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah. What about you, Nick?
They'd probably say, "Who's that?" I bet you that's what they'd say. 'Cause
Yeah,
I was kind of a loser.
That's
I
a
was
good
a little,
response, actually.
little tiny.
just kind of blend into the background.
Yeah, I didn't do much.
Did you feel like that you were that way?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I was never cool either, so I don't even remember 7th grade, to be
They'd probably
honest.
say,
Really?
Who's that?
I don't
Yeah.
remember it in 6th grade either. I think I just wanted to get the hell out of school.
Yeah, yeah. And you went on to college.
I did, and then I wanted to get out of that.
Damn. Did you finish?
Never learned his
did.
lesson.
Did you? History
And
major.
then I went to get a master's, and I wanted to get the hell out of that.
No
So it's
way. Did you do your master's?
Just awful spiral. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did it in history.
Wow. So I guess you could always teach, right?
That was the goal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you get a teaching certificate as well?
Well, I was going to be a professor
okay.
and go on and get a doctorate and all that.
Right,
And
right.
I just learned I didn't like translating Latin, literally translating Latin till the wee hours of the morning. That's what it consisted of. So
Right. Sucks.
yeah, it's not cool.
You know, my best teachers ever, and I hated school. I was not a great student, but my favorite teachers were always history teachers because
Yeah.
I loved the history. Math teachers sucked. English teachers sucked.
I know the
That's
science
funny.
teachers because they're always weirdos.
Oh,
All the science people are weirdos.
Yeah.
To blow stuff up.
Man,
Yeah.
it's funny because math was always really easy for me, so all my math teachers always loved me. Like so.
Really?
Yeah. Like
you were good at math.
Yeah, so I loved
Yeah.
my math teachers, and like all the other teachers were kind of. I mean, half of them were a little rude to me.
Which is crazy because you owe me money.
Well, he's only good at math, but it's convenient.
You know.
I don't.
That-
Economics is
Now,
different.
Jared, are you good at math?
He's lying. I don't know.
Obviously, you
I'm
suck
old.
at it if he's told you money.
He does suck at it because I don't owe him any money.
Oh,
Keep
he
a balanced checkbook, though.
so are you good at math?
I'm okay. I'm not horrible.
Yeah. How'd you do in school though in math?
I was fine.
You're okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. I bet Nick wasn't good.
I never worried about it. I was a good student.
Were
if
you?
you can believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But math, you did okay.
Yeah, it's all right.
You know, they say math, people that are musically inclined are usually do pretty well at math.
Yeah.
But then I run into some people who completely blew that out of the water.
Can you count to 4? Like,
Yeah.
I can only count to 4
or 5 or 7.
Yeah.
or 7. Yeah, I
Or
can count
9.
to 7.
Well, guys, I have really thoroughly enjoyed having you on.
Thank you.
And you've shown a lot of skill tonight, man, all three of you, and it's been a blast having you.
Thank you.
And I can't wait to have you back. And I really do hope when you release your album, you know, we can set you up and you'll come back by and we can play the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
Well, if you know, when people see this today, you know, what day? Thursday. So tomorrow,
You had to think about it.
tomorrow we're playing High and Tight.
Oh, yeah.
okay,
Deep
cool,
Ellum,
cool.
if they'd
I'm
like
wearing
to come
the
by.
shirt right here.
Oh,
Hi,
wow.
This is it.
You mean Tin Man actually lets you guys play?
Uh-huh.
Does he step off the stage long enough to let you guys play?
That's funny. Well, you know, Nick and I, we play at High and Tight every Sunday night also.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, we're there every Sunday night.
Let me promote one thing right now.
Well, one thing.
Oh,
As
Friday,
Holy Rollers Baby's
tomorrow
done,
night,
okay?
Friday night.
Yeah, this is
What band is
This
this?
is the
this is
plug.
Holy
What-
Roller
where
Baby
are
night.
we? Who are you people?
Holy Roller Baby tomorrow at High and Tight.
All right.
Friday. Friday.
Ser-
Friday.
Seriously,
3
you're
hours.
You're there tomorrow night on Friday.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we're doing it a very extended set.
Okay. All right.
3
cool.
hours of nothing
Shit,
but
maybe
us.
I'll make it over there then.
Yeah.
Come hang.
Yeah. Friday. Ooh, no, I forgot that. Thanksgiving. Yeah, there's no way. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's a sour note.
There's no way. I mean, the whole weekend.
Yeah.
The whole weekend is like out. Siri wants to chat.
Get out of
Damn
here,
it,
Siri.
Siri wants to have a chat. Yeah.
Nobody wants to talk to you, Siri.
So let's let people know how they can contact you guys. Like, you got a website.
We're all over. So wherever you listen to music, just type in Holy Roller Baby.
Okay.
You can go on YouTube and see our new and only music video featuring Trees Marie. Or you can go on Spotify and listen to us, or Apple, or wherever you'd like. We have a website, holyrollerbaby.com, I believe. Facebook,
Instagram.
no Twitter, just Instagram.
Yeah.
So
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you guys again so much.
Thank you, DC.
All right, you're welcome, brother. I'm going to move on and talk about my featured cigar. Let's see. Can you see it? Yeah. Right there. So it's featured, sponsored by Old Grapevine Cigar and Tobacco Shop in historic downtown Grapevine, Texas. Today I'm featuring the Kentucky Fire Cured by Drew Estates. The biggest difference with Kentucky Fire Cured is the inclusion of American fire cured tobacco leaves from Kentucky as well as Virginia. While normally tobacco is air cured, these special leaves are left to hang in specially constructed curing barns, a process that dates back more than 200 years, guys, and that imbues each leaf with a rich, smoky, slightly sweet flavor that boasts exceptional balance and uniqueness. Notes of oak, hickory, and maple lace sweetness explode on the palate as you smoke this stick. These leaves are joined by Nicaraguan and Brazilian Matafina long fillers along with an oily San Andres Maduro wrapper. This finished product is like nothing else on the market, so if you've been looking for something with a totally uncommon taste experience that'll blow your hair back, you just found it. So go see Kenny, Denna, or Tom at Old Grapevine Cigar and Tobacco Shop in Grapevine for a Kentucky Fire Cured cigar or a cigar of your choice, or just let them make a recommendation for you, because they will. If you mention Barside Jive, you will get 10% off your purchase. I am DC, and it's time again for my weekly concert calendar. This calendar is sponsored by Sloan & Williams Winery and Outlaw Cider Company, home to some of the very best wine, cider, and live music in North Texas. On Friday, November 29th, Jessica McVeigh will be at the Grapevine location from 7:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m., and the Two Tones will be at the Louisville location from 7:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Don't forget, at 6 p.m. every Friday evening, Barside Jive is live from the Louisville location. We talk wine, cider, and music from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. And on Saturday, November 30th, Greg Luce will be at the Grapevine location from 7:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. and TBD will be at the Louisville location from 7:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Also, Bradley Banning will play from 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. every Tuesday in Grapevine, and from 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. every Thursday in Louisville. Sloan and Williams Winery is located in Grapevine at 401 South Main Street in historic downtown Grapevine, Texas. And visit the new location in Old Town Louisville at 136 West Main Street. That's a wrap for this week's Barside Jive Live concert calendar, sponsored by Sloan and Williams Winery and Outlaw Cider Company. I am DC, and thanks for watching Barside Jive Live. Besides my Tuesday and Thursday shows right here at the Vocal Media Studios, don't forget my show in the Dallas Design District on Wednesdays from 7 to 8 p.m., 1523 Dragon Street, featuring singer-songwriters and visual artists. And then my show every Friday at Sloan & Williams Winery, Outlaw Cider Company, 136 West Main Street in Old Town Louisville, from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m., where I feature musicians of all sorts there. Be sure to check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com, Barside Jive Live, where I archive all of my content. Remember that VocalNow.com is home to the zoo, as well as Barside Jive, so download the Vocal Now app from your app store. If you create music or some other form of art and would like to be featured on one of my shows, or would like to sponsor or advertise on one of these shows, or maybe you just have an idea or comment, shoot me an email, dc@barsidejive.com. My show today has also been brought to you by Hip and Hippie. Hip and Hippie is a planet-loving company known for its high-quality, earth-friendly, 100% recyclable candle line and natural body care products. It's no wonder eco-supporting people love Hip and Hippie, hipandhippie.com. I want to thank Jay and Jimmy, our production team, for doing such a great job today. Thanks, Jay.
How's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well.
It's good to see you awake.
Hey, I've been listening to the music.
Good stuff, right?
What's up?
These guys are good, right?
Yeah.
Totally, man.
Thanks.
Okay.
No, he's not paid to say that. He's like a freaking critic, so you
That's
can
very
like
nice.
take what he says to the bank if he's awake.
DC slips me a 20 actually.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah,
Hey.
No. Yeah, it's been fantastic. The whole show's been great.
yeah. Well, thanks, Jay. Appreciate your contribution there, buddy. Guys, we're out
I
of
can
here.
sense the sarcasm. I appreciate it.
No, man, never. Oh, we'll talk after.
Happy
And-
Thanksgiving.
That's right, guys. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Absolutely.
Hope you're enjoying your Thanksgiving dinner right now.
Absolutely.
Eat your stuffing.
That's
Yes.
right. That's right. Guys, we do appreciate you hanging out with us this evening. We appreciate your support of what we're doing here and hope you'll share us with your friends and your followers. Be kind to one another, be a hero in someone's life, and until next time, keep on rocking. See you guys.
Thank you.
That's BarsideJiveLive.com.